It's time to remember. Grandpa and his Christmas lights,
Over 50 years old and it still runs.
Grizz's dad, and the pilots who flew him home one final time.
Dada, you're showing her Dada.
The runners who showed up when things got tough,
That I just vividly remember them at the door.
and the nurses who pulled off a miracle in the ICU.
It was so emotional. It was so beautiful.
It's time to remember the legacies and our neighbors who ensure they're not forgotten. This is Iowa.
KCCI presents a celebration of the people who make our state special. This is Iowa.
The most wonderful time of the year can also be tough, remembering the loved ones we've lost. But it's also time to remember our neighbors who created memories so vivid those loved ones will never be forgotten.
"90 minutes before guests arrive,
I gotta go there and tell them to smile.
some fathers of the bride get jitters.
Gotta go there and smile.
Greg Carlson was soaking it all in. The newborn in a tuxedo, the flower girl practicing her smile, and his girl in her wedding dress on her day.
Both Marlis and I have been thinking about this for 10 years. Like, when's she gonna get married? We're ready for it.
By the time family pictures wrapped up
Are we missing anyone?
and guests started arriving at the church in Stratford,
Hi there. Thanks for coming.
everyone knew this afternoon was going to be powerful.
It's gonna be a full house.
Because Tim and Stephanie were small town kids blessed with a lot of family and friends.
If it starts getting really full, there's more chairs.
And they all knew they were not here for a wedding.
I don't get to give her away because I already did that on the 25th of July.
They came for a celebration.
I'm ready.
8 weeks after Tim and Stephanie got the news.
We're going.
Marlis Carlson picked out her mother of the bride dress before Stephanie even got engaged. She'd helped plan every detail of the ceremony and could not wait for September 20th. But when that countdown hit 8 weeks, her doctor delivered the blow.
Doctor came in early for his rounds and, just tough conversations about where we're at.
Marlis's stage 4 lung cancer had been a total shock. She'd never smoked and had fought hard for 2 years. But 8 more weeks was not going to happen. Her doctor said she only had a few days.
I think it's every mother's dream and every daughter's dream to, get married and see their daughter get married.
Tears were still flowing in the Ames ICU room when Steph grabbed her phone.
We sat next to each other on the side of the bed, and she texted me and said, "Do you want to get married today?"
We had all these elaborate plans.
But here they were, surrounded by monitors and nurses who didn't bat an eye.
And that's when it all started.
At 10 a.m. that Thursday, Steph asked her mom's nurse if they'd ever performed a wedding.
We were going to do it. We were going to figure it out.
We kind of heard the buzz.
Word spread.
What are you doing? What do you need? I was like, we need a cake.
So I reached out to the local bakery here in town to see if they had any cakes made.
They did.
We need someone to take pictures.
Upstairs, in labor and delivery,
Kat called me at like 11 and was like, hey, any chance you could take pictures this evening? And I was like, yep, I'm there.
Within, I would say, less than half an hour, we had it all worked out.
Tim checked on his suit.
She called them and asked, "Is my suit in?" And they go, "Yeah, it came in yesterday."
Steph's best friend, who was ready to give birth, stopped by Walmart to find a ring.
Can you imagine that? An 8-month pregnant woman at the Walmart ring counter?
$40 solved that. And back at the hospital,
I found flowers in the gift shop.
Mary Greeley's nurses turned empty ICU bays into bridal dressing rooms, where they painted Marlis's nails
It just brightens their day.
We put her in her dress.
and then stepped back.
They made the room feel like it was not a hospital room, and it was just my mom and I, and I got to help do her makeup and her hair, her spraying me with perfume, and then helping me get into my dress.
Moments captured by the nurse who wasn't even supposed to be there, but didn't leave. So these moments with Mom would live forever.
Her spraying perfume on you. Like you can almost like smell that when you look at that picture.
Just like you can feel the love when Marlis zipped up her daughter's wedding dress, adjusted her veil just right, and then leaned in for a hug.
She taught me how to be strong, and she gave so much unconditional love.
You could see it as those nurses wheeled Marlis down the hallway toward the hospital's prayer chapel.
Their families become our families too.
We just wanted them to have that moment with her mom because everybody deserves to have their mom at the wedding.
Only 12 guests were in the room when Greg walked his daughter down that short aisle.
Who gives this woman away for marriage?
Her mother and I.
But Marlis was there, in the front row,
In sickness and in health.
wearing the dress she'd picked out for the ceremony, filled with heavy joy.
Tim and Steph.
God bless you. It shouldn't have worked, but it did.
It was so emotional. It was so beautiful. I mean, you could definitely feel the Holy Spirit in here.
To go above and beyond is something I can never say thank you enough for.
Nothing should have worked the way it did.
This was everything that we needed and more in a wedding.
From the cake reception in the waiting room to their final family pictures gathered around Marlis, the wedding that had been planned in 7 hours was official, just 4 days before Marlis Carlson passed away.
If you please rise.
8 weeks later, everyone knew this was a celebration, not a ceremony.
We give thanks to God for the precious union they have already begun.
With the same bridesmaids, the same pastors,
I know Marlis is watching over us today.
and an opportunity to feel the same love on display in that hospital chapel. Greg Carlson was in the front row again when he watched the video of his daughter kissing her groom. This is what Steph's mom wanted. Which is why, seconds after their second kiss, Greg followed them down the aisle, holding his wife.
It was a beautiful wedding.
It was.
No one would have chosen a wedding story with this ending.
A tough day, no doubt, but Mom's with us and just so thankful.
Thankful for compassionate caregivers who pulled off a wedding in 7 hours so Marlis could be there. And
Thanks for coming.
thankful for the friends and family who made sure their marriage starts with the same strength and love Marlis showed in sickness and in health.
I absolutely felt her presence with me, and she gave me the strength to walk down the aisle and be here along with Tim.
Still to come, Jack's holiday lights are a Red Oak tradition that started when times were tough.
It was because we was poor back then.
We're headed down gravel to the homemade mainstay. And we're going streaking.
You want to go streaking with us?
With our clothes on and our hearts on display. But next,
Beautiful up here. It is, isn't it?
Laura Terrell is taking off again with Grizz and these pilots who've been up here before. This is Iowa.
All right.
What do you think, Bubba's? Ready?
On a bitter cold December morning, Jerrica Beecher carries her son Grizz into the Ankeny airport for a reunion.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm good.
It's been a year in the making.
Good to see you.
You too.
Buddy?
He's like, guys, I just woke up.
Pilots Chase Stout and Zach Stubbs have not seen the Beecher family since last November, when they flew them back home to Iowa from the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota.
I can't even express in words how much that meant to us.
Jared Beecher was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer just days after their son Grizz was born. After a 3-month battle, his dying wish was to be at home with his family in Eagle Grove. KCCI was there as the two pilots, who didn't know the family before this, flew them for free in a private jet.
And then Zach's got you on that side, I got you on this side.
Jared, who mustered up the strength to take a family photo that day, died at home just 2 days later.
The year was probably the hardest mark for me. I think I broke harder then than I did the day that he passed. Just realizing that we're a year into this, and sometimes it just doesn't feel like it's getting better. but I know each day I get to get up and I get to see Grizz and take care of him and do Jared proud.
The high school sweethearts were married just under 2 years and loved to travel. In the last 12 months of grief, Jerica has been spreading Jared's ashes in the 3 states they never got to see together. She also wears his ashes and wedding ring in a necklace close to her heart.
Jerica's one of the strongest girls I've ever seen, so it's insane, and you know what she's been able to do and what she's kind of putting on the shoes for both, and it's very impressive.
Grizz is now 16 months old and on the move. Jerica makes sure he knows his dad with photos and stories.
Do you see just a ton of similarities all the time where you're just like, holy cow?
That's all I see.
What do you think the biggest thing is right now? That's like
His
that's
stubbornness.
Jared. Really?
Oh my gosh. I was like, I didn't even realize that was a hereditary thing. But turns out it is.
Stubbornness is not the only thing father and son have in common. A love of travel too.
This will be a little different than the one he flew in, but he'll enjoy it.
After getting a tour of the planes, Grizz walks hand in hand with Mom for the next adventure.
Whoa. What is that? You say airplane?
He's like, it's a big toy.
Chase and Zach have planned a reunion flight. This one under happier circumstances.
Dada? You're showing her Dada?
Grizz looks at a picture of Dad and then waves before takeoff.
You ready, Grizz?
Say heck yeah.
How about you, Jerica?
Oh yeah.
It's all that matters if Grizz is ready.
Yeah.
This smooth flight over downtown Des Moines puts everyone at ease.
You guys are putting Grizz to sleep back here. He was laying down on me.
That is the best compliment you can give a pilot.
Oh, for sure.
Fall asleep. Beautiful up here.
It is, isn't it? Cool view of the clouds.
Yeah.
20 minutes in the sky, reflecting on the last year.
Jerica, pleasure to see you.
Yeah, this was good.
It was a lot of fun.
It was. Thank you guys.
Glad we got to do this under more fun pretense.
I agree. 100%.
Oh yeah.
After landing, it was clear Grizz enjoyed the ride.
He kept looking out the window waving.
A son waving to the clouds and a dad watching from above.
It's a piece of Jared for me. I have a piece of Jared here on Earth.
And this beautiful friendship formed during heartache.
Thanks, everyone.
Jared, love you, buddy. Have a safe trip home,
Thank
okay?
you. Since that day, I truly think about it all the time because, it's something where, life really is a gift.
Has become the most precious gift of all.
I think the relationship, we'll obviously know each other for the rest of our days.
It's so special, and I can't wait for Grizz to grow up and for him to be knowing all these different people who helped us, and I get to explain to him there's some amazing people in this world.
That was Laura Terrell. Next, Bo Bowman takes us to one of Southern Iowa's biggest light shows for the handcrafted displays that became even more valuable the last few Christmases. This is Iowa.
Even on the windiest and coldest December days, Chris Baird and his wife Christine are in the field.
Yeah.
Not getting ready for next year's crop, but getting ready for the crowd.
Probably 1,000 cars going by a night.
Because when the sun sets on the gravel road just north of Red Oak, electricity flows through the extension cords.
Over 4,000 feet.
And more than 100,000 bulbs turn on.
It's just incredible how bright they are.
The Baird family farm transforms into a light show fit for the North Pole. It started with the house, but quickly grew from the radio tower to the little church.
We built all the pews, hand-built the pews inside of it.
From the combine,
over 50 years old and it still runs,
to a carousel. The display has no end.
Dad always said it'd take a lot counting.
It's a tradition that started half a century prior by Chris's father, Jack, who had no idea what it would turn into.
It was because we was poor back then. And we had a little old scrubby Christmas tree. There was some people that had money and they'd have beautiful home decorations and everything, and I always thought, man, it'd be nice to have some of that.
For decades, Jack spent all fall getting ready for opening night. Now, generations of Bairds all come back to Montgomery County to plug in the masterpiece.
Who would ever known we would have got to where we're at now?
What's just an annual chore for most families became treasured time in matching t-shirts.
That's what's important.
Doing it only to spread some Christmas smiles and hear the cheers from the cars passing by.
That makes it worth it right there.
Until 3 years ago, when Jack died. December 25th, 2022, Christmas Day. That night, Chris knew what his father would have wanted him to do.
I came out and turned the lights on, and the gardening angel that is behind us over there did not light. It was unplugged, and I don't know if it was some sort of sign or what, but it sure was something that it was unplugged at night. So I plugged it back in, and it was kind of like there was a connection there.
Call it what you want. The Bairds call it proof.
Some people, they wouldn't know what to do on that, and we said we're going to put him in his shirt. That's what he would like. So we buried him with a shirt and a Christmas light bulb in his hand.
Metal stakes don't take well to frozen dirt, but they drive into the earth a little easier with two hands on the hammer.
I told him, the last thing I told him, I said, we'll keep it going as long as we can get help. And so he's probably happy that we're keeping it going, but he knows how much work it was. But he loved to work, and he would want us to keep it going as long as we can. That was very important to him and important to our family.
That's why this section of the farm stays fenced off, surrounding the sign dedicated to him.
These lights shine bright for you, Dad. Your love and guiding light will always be with us.
A reminder that for some, the holidays can be tough, but those that have passed aren't lost, and there's always a light at the end of the gravel road.
We always say now, he's looking down with the best view.
That was Bo Bowman. We've been remembering loved ones, but next, Jody Long is remembering the streakers who showed up, fully dressed, during life's toughest chapter. This is Iowa.
Working out is just Eric Weiker's thing. Breaking a sweat inside his home gym in Ankeny, he never misses a workout, no matter the weather. But every year around this time, he gets a wild streak and breaks routine.
Usually it has to do with I'm not taking my clothes off.
Bearing it all in the bitter cold sounds crazy.
Hey, do you want to be a streaker? Do you want to go streaking with us?
Behind this crazy idea,
My favorite.
came a fully clothed,
Oh no, he just looks excited to be running.
holiday tradition.
Getting together with the community and being able to take care of yourself and take care of others.
Jogging on slippery sidewalks along snowy side streets,
That would be the coldest, minus 26.
Holiday Streakers earned its name.
Should we pick up the pace and try to lose him?
A mile a day, everyday running streak between Thanksgiving and New Year's. It began as an exercise challenge more than a decade ago between friends and quickly changed pace.
It was the catalyst for what we're doing now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool.
11 years ago feels like yesterday for Jennifer and Jeff Johnson. They had just sent the baby of the family off to kindergarten.
But then when we went and sat down and a doctor walked in that I hadn't met yet, that's when I knew. So, and then it was a whirlwind after that.
It was cancer, T-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma.
Hi, Mom.
The disease tried knocking the Johnsons' sports-loving 6-year-old down. Ryan was in the fight for his life.
It was just so overwhelming to think about what was happening to him and how we were going to take care of him.
For 70 days, Ryan called the hospital home. It's where he lost his first tooth as chemotherapy took his hair and his strength. Through it all, the family gained support from complete strangers.
That I just vividly remember them at the door and just coming and saying, hey, we just want to help your family out.
When word got out about the Johnsons, Holiday Streakers' reason to run turned into raising funds.
Until you're in a spot like that, I don't think you realize how important just a note is.
The money wasn't much, not even $1,000, but that was just the start. Year after year, the number of families helped kept growing. So did the number of streakers. The money the organization raised reached 6 figures.
It's kind of beyond what I ever dreamed it would be.
Helping families all across Iowa, even the country, with medical expenses.
They don't want you to feel bad for them. They want you to know how strong they are, and they want you to know that their 5-year-old going through cancer treatment is probably the toughest person on the face of the earth, and it makes getting up to run at 4:30 in the morning seem pretty easy in comparison.
It's been years since Eric last saw that little blonde kindergartner. Until this moment.
Yeah. Man. It's funny. He looks similar, but so much bigger.
A lot of memories.
Ryan is now 17, healthy, and cancer-free.
Yeah, it's like I'll be talking to friends and then it'll come up and they'll be like, I would have never guessed you were sick. Like, you don't look like it.
This Christmas looks a lot different than the first one home from the hospital in 2014. The family's tree is perfectly decorated, just like the one in honor of Ryan at the Festival of Trees and Lights, a Christmas-time tradition supporting Blank Children's Hospital, where Ryan was treated for years.
We almost lost him, and we have him.
The Johnsons know it is tough to believe for the best when cancer is the diagnosis. Those Iowans, determined to run for a reason, gave them hope.
I think really any small thing can help.
That's why Eric runs during the most wonderful time of the year for the families in their darkest days.
We weren't the cure. We were this tiny little part of their journey, but to see them move on and to be able to see them lead fulfilling lives, like that's the fuel.
That was Jody Long. Christmas is a time to remember the loved ones we've lost, but also celebrate the memories we've made and the Iowans who make sure we never forget. I'm Eric Hansen. This is Iowa.